everyone, today we're doing a workout standing and I will need one of those resistance bands and also our blocks or a block and a ball. Get ready, set up, and let's start with our little exercise with a resistance band. So bring it over your ankles. We're doing mostly glutes today, or a lower body, legs. So come to the right end of your mat, bend your knees slightly, and we'll do this crab walk, side to side. We'll do about 6 mat lengths, so go back and forth, little steps. Our glutes and our outer thighs are working here, and you will notice, especially towards the end of the exercise, that you're definitely getting fatigued in that area. So let's do 2 more. That was 4. I'm starting to feel it, hopefully so do you. 5, and last one, 6. Let's maybe do 2 more. Change my mind. 7 and 8. Okay, this is going to be our last one. Now you can remove the strap. The next one is squats. So our pelvic floor and glutes again. TVA, of course, as well. So one block between the thighs, another one between the hands. Make sure that when you squat, you keep your lower back long, meaning don't bend like this. Don't stick your bum out, creating this curve here. Try to keep lower back long, pointing your tailbone down. So inhale, squat, exhale, come back up and squeeze the blocks. Squeeze the blocks with your inner thighs and your palms. Inhale, squat, exhale, squeeze. That's 3. Remember, each exhale, each squeeze, pelvic floor in and up, cinching the corset, belly button to spine, everything towards the midline. It's halfway through. 6, 7, and there's no need to do it quickly. In fact, I want you to do it slowly, paying attention to your alignment, to your lower back, and making exhales long, giving yourself opportunity to feel that engagement in your pelvic floor, in your TVA. 2 more. And last one. Good. You can remove the blocks. Next one is going to be, I think this one is called a clock. So imagine you have a clock on the floor. What you want to do is standing on the left leg first. So right leg slides forward as if you're pointing to number 12 in front of you. But the toes are kind of just gliding over the floor, not quite touching, or touching just slightly. So 3 to the front, then 3 movements as if you're pointing somewhere to 130, okay? Three. Now pointing to 3. As you slide down here, then you start bending a bit more at the hip here. So there is a bit more of the hip flexion here going on. Inhale, come back to center. Exhale, and point to the 3. Again, 3 repetitions. Come back up. Now we're pointing somewhere to 435. Try to touch the mat ever so slightly, so you don't If you can hover it completely, then you can hover it. Otherwise, gliding just over the mat. It's tricky for the balance, but that's the point. And then now we're pointing to number 6. Again, trying to hover the leg. Maybe this is a bit better here. And one more time here. And now we're pointing somewhere to number 7 or 7.5, 8, somewhere there. Again, try to slide further away and try to almost not touch the floor, practicing your balance. So by now you probably feel a lot on your left glute. Now we'll switch the sides. You can shake it off. And we'll do exactly the same thing. So 3 repetitions to the front, trying to hover the leg over, pointing the toes and almost not touching the floor. Then this is somewhere to 10, 9, 30, 10, no, 10, 10, 30, 11. 3 repetitions. Now pointing to 9. A bit more hip flexion here. Go lower if you can. As low as you can, really, to keep your balance and to make these moves long and slow. Now pointing to 7. Last one here. Again, pointing to 6. I have very little room here, so I'm going to turn around. 1, 2, 3, and then pointing to 5. 1. Again, if you hover, it's a bit more complicated and harder for the balance, harder for the standing leg. So I challenge you to try to hover. I myself also touch the floor, but I try to lift it up once I see that I'm sliding. Okay, come back up, shake it off, and we'll do one more here. Again, for the glutes, for the outer thighs. Find your warrior 3 kind of position or airplane pose. And then you can bend the knee here as you point both hips down. So both hips are parallel to the floor here. Now on the inhale, open the hips to the side and extend the standing leg, extend the knee. Exhale, again, point both hips down, bend the knee, find your balance. This is really tricky for the balance. And inhale, straighten the knee, open to the side, hands can stay on hips for balance. So you can also try to find something steady to look at in front of you, something that's not moving, and that will help with the balance too. Ooh, see, I'm losing balance too. So that's 3. Let's do 2 more. And by the way, it's also challenging for the standing foot, right? So you're probably feeling it in the foot arch if you are gripping with your toes especially. So make sure it helps to spread the toes a bit more, and maybe that's what you need to do in between the rounds. Find your steady foot. Okay, 2 more here. Inhale, open to the side. Exhale, bend. Both hips pointing down. Again, open to the side. Good. 5 times on each side, okay? Shake the foot off. Let's do the other side. Again, starting by finding this airplane pose, steady gaze, bend the knee, both hips pointing down. And then on the inhale, open to the side, lift the leg higher. Exhale, bend the knee, close the hips. Scissor the hips, point both hip bones down. Inhale, open to the side, kind of stacking the hips on top of each other. Exhale. This is very slow, deliberate movement, working the pelvis here, stability, helps to strengthen our hips, glutes and hips, and giving us strength and stability overall, as this is our center of gravity. Last one. Good. All right, by now your hips are probably tired and you want to stretch them out. So we'll do Prasarita Padottanasana, forward fold. Open your legs wide, slightly pigeon-toed. So toes slightly in, heels slightly out. Inhale, open your chest. Lift your chest, look up, and exhale, bending from the hips. Lower down. Extend the arms forward. And we'll stay for at least 10 breaths. You can experiment with what works for your arms, either forward or between the legs, pointing them back, bringing your head closer to the floor, maybe feeling a bit more stretch in your inner thighs and outside of your, in the back of your thighs. 3 more breaths. And then come back up. Another stretch for the outer hips. Revolve triangle. I like to do it with a block, makes it a bit more accessible to find a good twist. So this time both hips are looking forward, looking straight. Bring your block somewhere on the inside of your right foot, if your right foot is forward. And then from here, start with the highest setting. Maybe you can switch into the lower as you stay in the twist longer in this stretch. This is as much balancing pose as it is a stretch for your legs, so it's kind of tricky. You can keep the legs wider open if you need to, but the point is to press the hand into the blocks, usually the hips a bit more, so right hip back, left hip forward, and you will feel more stretch than on the outside of this front leg. And then once you find this foundation, the legs are active, quads are lifted, so kneecaps lifted, quads active, then maybe lift up, float your right arm, look up. If it doesn't hurt your neck, you can keep looking forward and stay for at least 8 breaths. This should be like a nice stretch for the outer thigh. If you're not feeling it too much, maybe lower the block a bit more and stay. I'm kind of shaking here because it's a difficult balance too, not only challenging the mobility of your hips, your flexibility, but also challenging your balance here. All right, let's switch sides. Bring your block with you. This time left foot forward, right foot back. Open the legs maybe a bit wider for better stability. Press the right hand into the block. Square your hips. Left hip back, right hip forward. Exhale, we always twist on exhale. Lifting pelvic floor in and up, belly button to spine, activating those core muscles, and then opening the arm up. Keep those quads active, kneecaps lifted, and hold for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. And that was my workout for today.